talks out of both sides of his mouth. He talks about wanting to be there for the little guy, right? And yet he's clearly being bankrolled by billionaires. And I'm not quite sure what happened to that grassroots game of his, because I don't really think that, I guess after a while, they just tap him out after a while. I mean, I don't know how many times people can do the small dollar donations at this rate.
And just on Elon, because I think he's such a fascinating character, and the FEC
That's
reports.
not the adjective I would use, but go on.
Well, fascinating from a kind of a political standpoint, because he clearly has wider political ambitions. Recently he's now doing his own bus tour across America. He's flying into Pennsylvania and holding these events and these rallies, and clearly he has his own political ambitions. And I wonder if he has decided if he can take over the MAGA movement or a subsection of the Republican Party once Trump kind of exits the stage. Because
Is he forcing him out? Do you think Elon's forcing out Donald? Is Elon the next iteration of Donald Trump?
Clearly, Elon, through his actions this week, is seeing himself as a Republican power political player. And
do other people share that sentiment?
You mean inside Trump world? Or generally? I mean, look, without a doubt, he is starting to throw his weight around, right? He's throwing $75 million at the ground game. He is basically running Trump's ground game. As far as I'm concerned, I basically see Trump's ground game and the America PAC field operation as one and the same thing. Like, yeah, Turning Point Action and America First Works and these other PACs are also doing some ground games, but like their presence is really small compared to what America PAC has put up in some of these battleground states, like 450 people. In some of these states, like 440 people are walking this week every day in Arizona and Nevada.
And where's the money going? That's a lot of money, 75 million. Where's it going?
So it's based on the FEC reports. It's going to a number of things, right? It's going to direct mail ads. It's going to field and canvassing operations on behalf of Trump. He's also started doing field and canvassing operations for down ballot candidates, which is why I'm starting to think if maybe Elon's wider ambitions here are not tied to just, I want to make a splash in Republican politics and be influential in a second Trump administration and have a cabinet position. I wonder if he increasingly wants to be a candidate himself, or short of that, be the puppeteer that pulls the strings. He's like the kingmaker. And to date, it has been Trump, but just by virtue of the fact that he has that big MAGA base. But, as you know, in politics, money talks. And with the kind of money that Elon can and has been throwing around, I'm starting to wonder whether he sees himself as a kingmaker, maybe next cycle, the cycle afterwards.
Unless he, to your point, wants to be a candidate himself.
Unless he wants to be a candidate himself. But, he is so unlikable in general that I think he would struggle to be a candidate. But I could totally see him playing a behind-the-scenes role. No?
Listen to your theory though. If Cash is king, he wasn't always on Team Trump from the beginning. So why not throw that money behind another candidate in the Republican Party? In like months ago, right? Like in the primaries, right? Like why not pick somebody else to back with all that money?
That's a good question. I don't know. I suppose if you really want to play it safe and you really want to hedge, you wait until the nomination and you wait until whoever the nominee is the nominee, and then you give to that candidate because, as opposed to giving to Nikki Haley or giving to Ron DeSantis in the primary and then having a good chance that they lose.
He was a Ron DeSantis guy. He was a Ron DeSantis guy at the beginning.
But he very quickly came around to Trump, right? The moment he saw DeSantis starting to flag, the moment, if you cast your mind back to Pudding Fingers and all the other crap that came out against DeSantis that really sunk his primary campaign. Also, by the way, I should just add, as a cautionary tale, never back down. DeSantis's primary campaign used an army of paid canvassers, like Trump is doing now, to knock on doors in Iowa, and it went basically nowhere. And he lost Iowa by double-digit percentage points to Donald Trump.
So I think maybe for another time, another podcast episode, the conversation kind of needs to be, and I think post election, right? But I think the conversation needs to be, this is not working anymore. This canvassing ground game just doesn't work anymore. I don't think it does.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, even if he does more of that, or if he doesn't do more of that, he clearly has a lot of money to throw at politics. And the next cycle around, even maybe in the next midterms, if he starts bankrolling congressional campaigns, if he starts bankrolling through super PACs, or starts bankrolling presidential campaigns, that could make him a real power player at a time when no other billionaire really is doing this apart from Miriam Adelson, who is just kind of throwing money at Trump because she likes Trump.
Yeah.